You know, I love candles. I have them all throughout my house. My wife and I, we just like to have candles in our home. Hi, Matt Fox for Joann. You know, I like to go to Joann because they have so many different variety of candles, but I was kind of set on these different styles of candles you see here. Little tea candles, votives, smaller votives, and I wanted to try to figure out a project. Well, I came up with a rustic candle holder. That's what the main project is that I'm going to teach you. But I'm going to show you a variety of different styles. Now, if you don't like rustic, I'm actually going to show you a contemporary just a little bit later on. Now, as far as the material that I used, I have a lumber yard near me that sells old barn siding. And I just think it's really interesting. It has a lot of character to it. When you buy the barn siding, you get it home, it is a little dirty. Now you can take your shop vac and clean it off, and sometimes you need to take a wire brush and actually brush away some of the dirt that gathers on the wood. But once you do that, you kind of want to leave it as rustic as possible. Now, as far as laying out your holes for your votive candles, it's really quite simple. It's up to you. Now for this one, I actually laid out the candles and I measured in between each one so that I can get the correct distance, and I worked my way down the board. As I worked my way down the board, I took a Sharpie and I marked exactly where I wanted the candle to be, because eventually you're going to be drilling a hole to set your candle in. Now on this one here, this board I'm working on here, I'm actually just kind of eyeballing it. I'm just going to kind of place the candles where I think they'd fit best, because it's going to be rustic looking. It doesn't matter if they're off a little bit, but I still am going to make a little mark with my Sharpie so I know exactly where I'm going to drill my holes. Now if you want to, you can also just kind of freehand it. That's what this one is. Didn't have any pattern, just kind of set the candles, didn't even mark them, just started drilling holes. Now you're asking, how do you drill the holes? Well, that's where this guy comes in. This is called a Forstner bit. It's a bit that you use in your drill. You can see it comes in a variety of different sizes. Now to determine the size of hole for the size of candle, you need to take the candle and look at the base of the candle, and you try to match the Forstner bit up so that it's just a little bit larger than the candle base so that the candle will fit in the hole. Once you have that, you can drill your holes all the way down. Now for some of these, most of these, I didn't drill all the way through the wood. I just went about 3/4 of the way so that you have a hole that you can place your votive candles. It's a messy job. You want to make sure that you have an area that you can work in a garage or in a workshop, so you can create a little bit of dirt, because it is going to get a little messy with the Forstner bit. But as you can see, once you drill all the holes, it really does create a nice little pattern. Now as far as the contemporary style, that's what this one is. Look at these cool little votives that I found. I just like the shape and size of those. I thought these were looking a little more contemporary. Now to build that, I did use a piece of poplar, and you can purchase this lumber at a Joann store. And I created just a little bit of reveal on the bottom. I'm going to tilt that just a little bit. I just cut these little feet out at the bottom, and that gives it more of a contemporary feel. If I set this down here, you can see it gives it a little bit of height on that candle holder. Just a very attractive looking candle holder. Very simple to do. I would say if you start with this project, it's going to take you at tops 15 minutes. The harder job is to actually select the candles at Joann. So I would call this another bright idea brought to you by the folks at Joann.